All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review where we stream live from Mott Branch Library. And what we're going to do right now is click on our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library. And as always, they roll out the red, black, and green carpet for us. Let's get into some introductions. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. one of the co-founders of CSRN, and also an active and registered member of the Nation of Islam here in Toledo. I think next year will be my 34th year being registered. And if you don't know about the Nation of Islam, if you know about Malcolm X, how do you get your X? There's a level of study that you have to do, and then show and prove that you know what you know. And 33 years ago, I stood up in front of the brothers locally, and I recited my actual facts and my student enrollment, which is your entry into the class, and you receive your X. And I have been a part of many things in the community. What am I wearing today? Today I have on kind of a striped blazer. I've got on a white shirt, looking like I just came from work today, Jody. All right. It is what it is. All right. And I've got my beads on. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. And I like to also add this, Jody. We are having our 10-year victory lap for CSRN. 10 years ago, all of us came together, and this was the brainchild of Jabril Bey and Mike Leonardi. I had no idea about Community Solidarity Day, but they did, and they kicked it off. We joined on a little bit later on, and we kept this thing alive. So that's what's up. Jody, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to throw it to Jody for your intro, and then we're going to get into our mission statement, guiding principles, a Black Lives Matter moment, some of the things that you've experienced with us organizing. I'll give something from myself of what we've done together organizing. We'll take a short break and we'll come back and get it in.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, treasurer of this organization. And, the guy that does the art and the other stuff like that in the community. We thank you every single week for coming back and watching us, trying to be aware of some of the stuff that goes on locally in your community, because we're not news. We're just a couple good community members out here making some good trouble, trying to figure out how things work and give them back to the people.
That's right.
Having to go up on the 11th floor of the building downtown next to the garage, we go to those places and bring you back the information. And we also have guests on here. This is a guest week.
That's right. I guess we're the guests. All right. That's right.
We're the guests. You take a break. We are 50 days until the election, and then we can stop talking about that and get back to the issues of mental health, poverty, and all the stuff that is being thrown around right now, but not really dealt with. Even though people could be in office or have been in office to fix it, they didn't. And again, thank you for coming back for reasons we describe ourselves, because we know this is around dinner time, depending on what standard time zone you stay in. And we don't want you being distracted by trying to take kids to sports and school is in, or other arts and crafts or other things like that. We want you focused on the road, because there's been a lot of stuff going on the road, and a chance to know what we actually look like just through our voices.
That's right.
A lot of podcasts, even though it is more common now, almost 15 years ago, back when I used to do podcasts with Cast Off, there wasn't the aspect of video along with it and everything like that. So now you can kind of see us. But if you're not, I'm a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from living freely as an artist, writing out my own destiny, and just trying to do good in my community. The things that you see that make noise or jingle that are around me are people I've met, memories that I've had. So being a solo artist, I never go on stage alone. Being in my community, since I choose to walk all prophet style, I am never alone. That big stick. But anyway, how do you get to this point? What does this all mean in discernment, since that era, I think we can probably say, is behind us? as far as the marching and protest, and not really accessible where we know we can get to policy now. We can get to change. I may not be here. I have to check on the flights and stuff because next week I'll be in DC. There is the March on Congress with Survivors Speak from the 23rd to the 24th. So it depends on coming back and stuff. If I'm going to be on the show, or I might just podcast from DC. That would be awesome.
You can be virtual.
Yeah,
all right. That's right.
Grab one of the lawmakers up like, hey, let me do this interview.
That's right. That's what's up.
But yeah, and how we got to this, because when we started this journey, as Brother Washington said, nearly a decade ago, we were not so educated or knowledgeable as we are now through our mistakes and failures and stuff like that. But there are things that keep you strong through all those trials and tribulations. That is our mission statement
and the guiding principles,
which is like our foundation and wall. So when provocateurs or people leave or people have stuff to say, we can still stay strong as an organization or foundation, because nothing, is an old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, neither does a CSRN.
That's right.
Or a NAACP or a SNCC or a ABLE get built by just somebody saying, I'm going to go out there and do it. It takes a lot of time. So this is our mission statement. We hope that if you do have a foundation, organization, LLC, nonprofit, trademark, food company, selling dinners out your house, that you have something you can stand on when all the social media trolls come for you. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, provoked, attacked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally, yes, equally to all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
All right. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to recite or read off our guiding principles. And what that is, this is the thing that keeps us from imploding. It keeps us from the type of arguments that have really messed up a lot of local organizations. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe?
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Love. Self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success.
Ashe.
Without this principle, I took a little break there. All right. I thought I'd get you today. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
The most directly effective people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Now, also training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
All right, now that's it. Those are our guiding principles, and we happened upon the guiding principles in 2015 at the Movements of Black Lives convening. It was a primarily young people convention. I don't believe that there was anyone under 40 that was part of organizing it, and they had this way of solving some misunderstandings that were happening there. And during this misunderstanding, they read their guiding principles, which made me think, wow, we could be our own worst enemies. Our former slave masters and their children don't even have to be around anymore. We do all the dirty work by being divisive, by being divided, by trying to say who's blacker than who, and we're losing. So we saw that, and I wanted to implement it. We wanted to implement it into what we were doing here. And one of the things that I didn't mention about when we say all Black lives matter is wealthy Black lives.
Yes.
It's just not.
Yeah, but we got that from one of our guests that actually came on.
Yes. What is her name? Brea.
Yes.
All right. Brea.
Doing a whole bunch of construction projects and
Yeah.
realty and revitalization of downtown and some of the surrounding areas.
That's right. That's right. So, all right. What we wanted to do right now is go into what we call our Black Lives Matter moment. Let's see.
Okay, we'll start with you.
All right. You know what? I'm trying to bring up that thing that says Black Lives Matter moment. Oh, there it goes. All right. My Black Lives Matter moment is thinking about all of the organizations that we partner with. And it made me think about I'm not going to go into it because I want to talk about some of the work that we've done with the ACLU. And we've done we started working with the ACLU, I think in maybe 2017 through 2019 on making your community safe. And we launched this initiative. We had everyone come to the Frederick Douglass Center and look at what we thought a healthy community looked like. And I think that sometimes during in social justice, we could put ourselves in a silo and not want to work with anyone. And my last organization that I felt really proud about working with was Crave,
Yes.
an organization that's already doing something and coming together and saying, hey, look, you guys are doing this. What can we do to help? So my Black Lives Matter moment is us being able to work together and finding ways that CSRN can fit in to what someone is already doing and making it better. So when I think about Black Lives Matter moment, it's not just for me, not just a political forum, not just a protest. It could also be us being able to work together in a healthy way.
Right.
So for you, it's been 10 years. All right. 10 years of your life, you've given to me. All right. That's what's up. All right. So what would
my creek out of bed?
Yeah, what would that be for you?
I would say how it started. Like before we were even CSRN, we were there present at one of Toledo's, I guess you could say, all-encompassing first marches.
Yeah.
There was this, and it's how I kind of got involved. I was working at a certain job at the time, doing advertising, promotion, cooking, all of this stuff, making like $25 a day. Being there, open to close.
I thought you were going to say an hour. I'm like, hell, are they still hiring?
Yeah, this was just way back when I was in survival mode and leaving nightclubs and doing some other stuff. And I saw this thing on TV. It was about a march/protest from UT to wherever we felt like stopping. And we wound up going to the mall. And then there was just so many off branches and shoots of people. But I think most of us were there at the beginning. And that was my, I guess you could say, first taste of activism. And because I still have the recorded videos on my phone, even though they look like crap now because technology changes.
That's
so
right.
What looked good 10 years ago is like, is that a pixel? I'm not sure. But it kind of gave a catalyst to what this is now, because there were thousands of people that came out that day.
That's right.
In particular, don't know where some of them are now. Some of them I do see in other organizations are still doing the thing, but that's kind of how life works in a way. There'll be a lot of people with not necessarily mass hysteria, but that are going towards something that catches a snowball effect. Like everything you see on social media now, only the snowball effect is temporary. 12 hours a day. One moment you have Demord, and you have Haktud, and you have all other stuff going on in the world.
I should be saying that funny stuff. All right.
But it is true, though, because I look at over the past couple of months here, we've had so many distractions. But then you have people that keep on going with it, like the flat earther people or the people that believe the birds ain't real. And that small percentage of people is what you get to keep after 10 years.
All right.
And I like knowing that I was there before it was a thought. So I was able to be conscientious of it even actually happening. Because before that moment, as somebody said, hey, we're going to start a protest activist, blah, blah, blah group. And they would be like, world peace? You mean them Sarah McLachlan things?
Yeah, that's right.
Save the whales. There was this before then.
No, it wasn't.
You had the gap between the civil rights movement and a whole bunch of stuff that tried to start.
That's right.
Never actually got rolling.
That's right. That's right. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. And what we want to do is add in a different segment. This is our NOI Healthy Minute, and this is a sister named Sophia Shabazz, medical doctor. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to an NOI Healthy Minute. I'm Dr. Sophia Shabazz, and today we're exploring a controversial topic in nutrition, soy. In How to Eat to Live, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad advised us not to eat the highly rich soybean. He said those beans were for cattle, not human beings. In fact, 70% of the world's soy crops are used to feed animals. Unfortunately, soy is found in many processed foods, and the popularity of vegan diets that often rely on soy-based meat substitutes has resulted in high consumption of soy among people seeking a healthier lifestyle. Soybeans are the most potent source of isoflavones amongst all foods on the market today. Isoflavones are estrogen-like proteins in plants that can raise estrogen levels in the blood. While this effect can be helpful for women with menopause symptoms, that's not a great thing for an infant. Elevated estrogen can interact with thyroid hormones, interfere with fertility, and affect healthy cell growth. It can also be a risk factor for breast or uterine cancer. While studies have been conflicting, there are both animal and human studies suggesting that soy intake in infants and children can alter sexual dimorphism. That means it can blur the physical and behavioral differences between male and female. In addition, much of the soy produced today is genetically modified, which raises concerns about causing allergies and other long-term health effects. So, take it from the man who got it from God and pass on the soybean. Remember, when it comes to feeding your baby, breast is best. If you must use infant formula, cow milk-based formulas are preferred over soy for most babies. Before making drastic changes to your diet, please consult with your doctor or other health practitioner, especially if you have concerns about allergies, thyroid health, or hormonal balance. This is Dr. Sophia, and this has been your NOI Healthy Minute.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Something's going on with them. Most of us in the entertainment or technology world know that there's only like 3 main towers for all of this information that we're doing to go out. So if one of the big 3 goes down, or they're dealing with something that could be affecting a whole lot of other stuff we don't even see behind the scenes.
Right. And if you didn't hear that first part, because I swear we have the worst tech team in the world. They muted our first part as if we were singing a song that was copyrighted. So if you didn't hear that, we were telling one of our viewers that said, hey, look, I can't see you guys. And we said, well, either go on YouTube where you can subscribe to our page and then click the notification that you'll be able to get our podcast every week, or you can just refresh. That's like saying unplug your computer and plug it back in.
Yep. For those that did not hear the segment with us coming back and me doing these awesome hand gestures, unless you can read lips. Right now, as I'm seeing going up and down my social media and stuff, there's something going on with Verizon. There are so many towers, so many companies that do all the electronics in the United States. So if one is having issues, it could lead to a trickle-down effect of other stuff we don't know about. And the best thing to do, because I watch simultaneously our YouTube and our Facebook live feed. If you're having issues with it, just try and refresh. And we apologize for any inconvenience it may cause you.
Some inconvenience. All right. Hey, listen, one of the things that we always say is every week we stream live from Mott Branch Library. So shout out to the staff for always making sure that our room is ready. And all we really have to do is put up our posters, which is our background. And hopefully we're going to get maybe some other camera angles so that everyone can see that this is a real life studio with microphones and lights and pictures and stuff like that all over.
No ASMR noise, so you can hear it in the back there.
Yeah,
There's
this is real stuff. This is real stuff. Real red, black, and green flags. Real Black Lives Matter signs.
Real places. Places that we've been.
Yeah, absolutely. And people that we love. We got a picture of the squad there.
We don't reuse or remix anybody else's content.
And a huge picture of Jody that says "Black Men Smile." I don't know.
See that on that corner out there.
Yeah, I don't know how did he get a huge picture. I'm this little guy right here. All right, he's got the really big one. All right, that's enough for Black Men Hate. All right. I wanted to really go over a couple of things that we CSRN was a part of last week. Last week we were interviewing Malikta Malaku, who is the Northern Ohio Senior Organizing Strategist for the ACLU Ohio. And on Saturday, we had a civic class 101, where we talked about educating voters on the different branches of government, educating voters on some of those down ballot initiatives that we miss. We like to vote for the national election, and we think that those national elections are going to get the things that we want locally. But first, before you do that, you might want to know who your council person is. All right, before you vote for your the national senator, you might want to know who the commissioners are,
because they're all up for election next election. A couple of our commissioners are right now.
Right. You might want to know who the judges are. I got a chance to meet the Honorable Judge Duhart on Saturday, and a candidate for judge, Karen Connolly. You got to know you don't have to, but you should want to know these people, because they are the ones making decisions where we are. All right. Yeah. Where we are right here, right now. And then we leverage our relationships with them to have an impact on state government. So you might want to know those people on Paula Hicks Hudson. You might want to know Elgin Rogers. You might want to know some of these people that have been elected to those state seats. And then we can utilize them to leverage our impact on
to Erica White.
Yeah. On those
Jones.
Absolutely, on those national stage. So that was what's up. And if you want to learn more about the ACLU, I'd like for you to go to their website. I was trying to share the website real quick while I was talking, but apparently that's something that I'm struggling with too. But go to their website, ACLU Ohio, and I need to
update some stuff.
Yeah, I need to update some stuff.
Yeah, and that's okay.
All right, there we go. That's not what I want, but I guess that's what I got. All right, that's not what I want, but that's what I got as far as
side by side.
As far as doing the side by side stuff, but yeah, in order to know about what's happening in locally, you should want to know what's happening locally. There you go. With the ACLU, and learn about some of the different things from the state school board, the Secretary of State, the Board of Elections, the Attorney General, all of these people, the mayor, regardless of what's going to happen with that. And we'll have Daniel Ortiz on, soon next week, because we have some issues we got issues all the time because this is live. So
at least I have less issues than presidents or former presidents.
All right, thanks, Jody, for adding that on. But those are the things that we covered with the ACLU last week, and I was happy to be involved with Crave. On Saturday, there was a really great opportunity with Tatiana Cash, the Slang Gang, the Buffalo Soldiers, some of the vendors that came that had tables to talk about gun violence, to talk about youth
Video
violence.
game truck,
right,
for the kids.
Oh, and since I have you as a member of Crave, do you remember how did you get involved with Crave?
Kind of how I've fallen into like my other 11 boards and nonprofits. I just show up. I'm actually part of this community. I don't have to be shipped in or have some impressive doctorate or so many years of analytic work. I live here. And people take recognition of that I'm always somewhere, everywhere, all the time at once. But that means that I have data and knowledge and connections that they may never get. Just by being myself. So the people are other board members in Crave are like from past lives of mine. One, we worked together for a couple decades, and then one was from entertainment. One I knew through the entertainment company. And we just decided we wanted to do something more. Entertainment is great. Working in the food industry is great, but you're only limited so much there. Because you got contracts, you got other people to listen to, and we decided to take our knowledge of combined decades upon decades of resources and build something. Scary at first, thinking of not only just the name itself, because it's not spelled Crave, but you pronounce it Crave, but it's CRAYV. Which has actually been getting me in trouble with the board because I talk to text a lot, but I have fixed those. But yeah, we wanted to come together because we see what gun violence is doing. Heck, as I spoke on the news, we've already seen that school has barely started. There's been a couple mass shootings. People are, and again, I'm not against guns. I'm not against any amendment that allows you to protect yourself. I'm saying possibly pay more attention to the people that you are putting these weapons of, I'll go all Bush, of mass destruction into people's hands. Are they mentally capable of this? Are there security measures? Are what's going, that's a touchy subject.
Right.
But I still am for outlets and resources for people that have been victims of gun violence. And that's why we started this. There are, again, many causes, many save the whales or this type of cancer, and we are one of the ones that are trying to do it here locally.
And also I wanted to give a shout out to Lightning Rod,
Slang Gang.
Slang Gang. Shout out to the Frederick Douglass Community Center.
Yes.
All right, they've always made themselves available, made the property available, and a shout out to Glass City Talent.
Yeah.
All right, Deborah Sue. I need to get her number so that I can get on her podcast too, because I think she runs
does a podcast.
She runs on Wednesdays and Thursdays, Wednesday or Thursday, and because I met a brother that owns Grind Time Gym. I'm going to get some artwork. Ask him if I can get some artwork so that we can,
Name Gaston.
Yeah. I don't want to say DeAndre.
I think it is DeAndre.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. So DeAndre Gaston of Grind Time Gym. He was present on that day also, and the violence interrupters or the interrupters as they're called now, were in the house. I saw Malcolm Cunningham and some of the others that organized with him, and Tatiana Cash.
Yep.
Class Act.
Toledo for providing, because that's something we also did, is this being our third year. So I'll go into kind of board member mode because it would be disrespectful to that if not. So for that, thank you to Tree Toledo. We were able
good looking
to plant our first tree in the community. It's sitting right there on Indiana in the garden. It's across from the Douglass Center. I believe it is theirs. Most likely it is theirs. But I'm going to go there. Actually, Rochelle was over there watering it today. But thank you to all of our performers. She Speaks, Holly Clark, Two-Tone, Neil Big Castle, MacNova, and Robin Jones as She Speak. Because being in the industry for so long, I get to know them as people, not just the art that they create. So I'm appreciative that they showed up. I'm appreciative for all the bikers that showed up and the community that showed up. We were able to give almost 400 pounds of hygiene and clothing to the Sparrow's Nest because of
That's
your
right.
donations, plus a cash donation. So that right there, starting out 3 years ago with the world still kind of falling apart
Yeah.
in 2021 was to see us here now and knowing that next year I want to put more trees down. I want to feed more families. We did feed 100 children thanks to the name blanks me, but it's in the same building as the Cherry Street Mission Complex, but they donated meals to us. We still have.
Is that Meals on Wheels?
It might be. See, my staff wanted to talk. It might be Meals on Wheels. I think so. Because they each all had an individual card with them as well for people. So that was a beautiful sentiment.
That sound is not a good sound when that huge cane falls. All right,
my shillelagh falls.
But I'm all good. I'm all good, man.
But yeah, thank you, and I look forward to next year with also doing more than just a yearly event because we want to expand more to doing more stuff in the community, meeting more people, kind of like our own version of CSRN in a way, just on the aspect of gun violence. So I think it is great to have many topics and subjects that you care about, but when you get to one that means a lot to you, like domestic violence of all forms means a lot to me, you kind of zero in and get that laser focus on that. So yeah.
All right, and lastly, I wanted to shout out for some of the things that we were involved with last week is the Collard Green Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Joyce Stubblefield and her family for hosting the 24th annual Collard Green Festival right there on Belmont near Brown. Every year, this sister and her husband was the founder. Well, her and her husband are the co-founders of it, and she's kept it going. Her daughter, her family, her friends. I don't know if you realize how much could be made out of collard greens. And let's see, what did I have? I think I had the collard green lasagna. I had the collard green. I think there was the collard green rice balls. I think I had the collard green bread. They didn't have the collard green brownies this year. I don't know if I had collard green salad, but I had something. All right.
So you had a lot of greens.
I had a lot of greens, and I don't know if you're old enough to attend because it's for the grown and sexy. And I think grown and sexy is usually 50 and up. All right. I think that's what they call it. I think you still qualify to be a part of the young people. All right. I think you still qualify. You got at least maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 more years left to be qualified as the young people. This is for the grown-ups.
Okay.
And
better conversation, Jesus. I'm happy not to be the older.
Yes,
crowd.
sir. This was all. Look, it was for the group that would probably tune in to WJUC on Saturday. On Saturday between 9:30 and 12:15. All right. So it is what it is. Older crowd. All right, older crowd. And it was just an awesome experience. I met up with Joyce maybe a few weeks before. She was in the neighborhood passing out flyers. I said that not only CSRN to be there, some of the brothers from the NOI will be there just to kick back, have some fun, listen to music, have something to eat. Small donation that all of us should give, going into on her property and coming out. Lots of food, lots of fun. So shout out to the Stubblefield family and the Collard Green Festival. Shout out to the ACLU. Shout out to Crave and all of the things that CSRN was involved in. I want to take a break, come back and talk about Hispanic Heritage Month. Because later on this month, we're going to have Tony Rios Jr. and Brother Student Minister Abel Muhammad, the Latino minister liaison for the Nation of Islam for this month.
I have about 17 more things to shout out from that, but we'll take a break. Also, because the Collard Green Festival is part of my monthly. I do a list of all the flyers and events that I could find. So that was in part 2 of that. Also on the 14th, and I got 6 or 7 other things to shout out when we come back from commercial break that happened during the 14th in our last filming.
All right, this is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
Canal.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We come to you live from my branch library. And since it's live, whatever happens, it happens live. And there's nothing we could do about it, from Jody's huge walking stick falling to the tech team not unmuting us when we start. But hey, we're back. We were just talking about Hispanic Heritage Month. We were talking about some of the things that we did last week, and we were talking about Craven. I think we left a couple of things out. We're all right, and we're ready, and we're ready.
Awkward.
Yeah, and we're ready.
Yep, just a couple of things. Again, I'm trying to expand more into the community. So my reels, shorts and stuff that you see on my page are more focused on community things that are going around that aren't really advertised like that. I see it as a responsible creative to make sure that people have outlets to be creative. There's enough going on with the elections and everything else in the world that's distracting to stop people from being happy, because this is also National Suicide Prevention Month. So for those of you out there that may be feeling not enough or anything like that, you can always text or dial 988 and receive somebody to help. Or there are many local organizations. We used to have the Zeph Center. Now we have.
I think we still have the Zeph Center.
Where's the Zeph? Which one? The other one got closed. But still, yeah, Zeph took over all of that. But
they took over. Yeah, Rescue. We had Rescue Crisis.
We had Rescue, which was one of the largest facilities like that for Ohio, but funding and politics and stuff like that. Again, reminding you that this is an election year, so try and choose people that would prioritize your mental health over profits and stuff like that. But to the point, last week we also had Uncloistered on the 14th. So Saturday was a super, super busy day. If you like poetry, there was Uncloistered Poetry Live at the Peacock Cafe. There was the Toledo Night Market, sponsored by OPC. I'm not sure who OPC is, but I'm just kind of looking over some of the things. The Back to School rave at the Golden Corral. There was the Toledo Museum of Art block party. There was also the studio party at the House of Rock, the 3rd annual Peace, Love, and Happiness block party, which was outside of the House of Rock that went on Friday. There were $13 flash tattoo sales at a local place here. So that's some of the things that just went on locally that you might not have heard about, that you might still be able to get in contact with some of the people, like the Parking Lot and Author Fair. That's a gathering volumes every single year. That was Sunday. And moving on to things coming up. You got any plans for this coming up week?
Well, I got my plans are going to consist of, I need to get back with Tony Rios Jr. He's organizing for Hispanic Heritage Month. And every year we take this time to tap in to each other. So I want to spend some time with some of the Hispanic Heritage Month programming that's going on right now. So log on to his page, Tony Rios Jr., find out what's happening for Hispanic Heritage Month, and take up a new language. All right, take up a new language. And also this Saturday, if you're out and about near the corners of Bancroft and Detroit, stop and get a Final Call newspaper. I wanted to put up this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper. There we go. This week's edition of the Final Call newspaper is The Reality of the Will and the Great Announcement. I don't know if people realize just how much is being hidden regarding what they call unidentified aerial phenomena and the reality of it all. And also this article talks about Minister Farrakhan's vision that happened August 17th, 1985, that relates to some of the things, some of the wills that people see in the sky. Of course, sometimes people dismiss it as a conspiracy theorist, or Brother Washington, are you on that? Yes, I am on that. And I'm like many people that have seen things that you readily can't explain, and you see some things that you realize, we're not alone, and it's not necessarily green people. All right. So get this week's edition of the Final Call. It's a great article regarding that, and also some also local stories and national stories and international stories that you won't get anywhere else. So get this week's edition of the Final Call. And lastly, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is happening right now at the Frederick Douglass Community Center, and I think that is going on from 10 a.m. to 7. Also, what happened with the somebody texted me telling me that I made a mistake, but I'm on it. All right, thank you, person that's watching, trying to check me when I know that I said September 17th, 1985, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had a vision regarding the wheel, and what we see in the sky is not what they say are green men from trillions of miles away. No, it's a lot deeper than that. Get this week's edition of the Final Call. Stop looking at me like that. Get this week's edition of the Final Call newspaper. That's what you should do. So you'll see us out this weekend with the Final Call newspaper, Bancroft, Detroit, or most of us, some of us may be going door to door. So if I knock on your door saying, hey, it's Brother Washington Muhammad, Nation of Islam, got the latest edition of the Final Call newspaper, open up your door, get a Final Call, and get a subscription on digital.finalcall.com. All right. There is the Toledo celebrates National Voter Registration Day. That's today.
Yep, that
all right.
was today at the Frederick Douglass Center. Hopefully you were able to make it over. See, the Douglass Center is like one of them centers that actually is active. I never hear any other side of town like doing much, but that's not a slight on them. It's just to, do better. But I believe on the 22nd, as I saw something going across the movement page, that they might be back there.
Okay.
It might be at that location too for another voter drive. Because again, 50 days. A lot can change in history for one after this election. So,
and I'm checking out all of the I can't make that bigger. I'm checking out all of them, trying to make the all right. Look, I'm just giving all of our magic away.
So we don't have touchscreen equipment.
No, we don't. Man, we need to. All right, well, maybe that's the next thing. When I start sharing how you can support us, we need touchscreen everything.
Get
all right,
Star Trek gear up.
Right. So, and I think National Voter Registration Day is important so that you can get involved, learn who your candidates are, learn some of the issues, and just prepare yourself to be involved in the process. You can vote for whomever you feel. Man, vote your conscience, or what you think is right for you. But just, get involved, and shout out to the Frederick Douglass. Shout out to the sponsors and the partners that are involved in that. I see the NAACP, Canaan Missionary Church, the Ohio Unity Coalition. We've had some of them on in the past. And I don't know why isn't our name added to that, Jody, but hopefully next year we'll get our name.
We are heavily involved in other all kinds of stuff. Okay. And I did get the actual, so this is going to be at the Trunk 3353 put on by the movement. Are you registered to vote? Bring your ID and join the movement. We're going to have refreshments and everything over there. That is going to be September 22nd, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now, on to the things, and I just kind of got a confirmation. I will not be in studio, but I will be in DC. So I will probably just be tuning in virtually, getting as close to the White House, maybe some Congress people as possible, to see if I can get them to answer the questions. No.
And ask them nicely, all right? I need you to come back, all right? Ask them nicely.
The last time I was there was the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, where you can still walk in front of the White House. I don't believe you can now. But just some things coming up in between then and next week, since I won't be here to update everything next week. And when I do all my tech stuff, I can't really see my phone doing it because I use my phone for everything. So we have Momentum Festival coming up Friday, September 20th through the 22nd. Crime Survivors Speak, March on Washington. That's the 23rd through the 24th. There is also this Friday coming up. There is the 2024 Parking Day Art Tatum celebration. And there are, I guess I might as well go for it, the AMP concert, Green Labs at Pole Road for Sacred Harvest Fest. Probably said that wrong. River East Mural Gallery and Arts Festival, September 28th through the 29th. I'm going to be a part of that. I'm one of the curated artists, I guess you could say. I might be painting something on the wall, but also that day is the second day, because on the 22nd, which I'm not sure if I'll be here for, it depends on our flight and stuff, but the first day of the Power Tour. And what is the Power Tour? Put on by Reinvest Toledo. Me and several other artists and creators and community members are coming together to help you to understand why you should vote. It's going to be done at the Collingwood Arts Center. All appearances, and we have 4 tour dates: the 22nd, the 28th, October 6th and October 12th. I'll be definitely performing on the 28th, the 6th, and the 12th, along with Joe Sparks and LaToya and Sandra Gill, and we have LJ and a whole bunch of community board members. Montrese Casey, Hear Me Terry, City Park League. He's going to be hosting the first day with a community panel, because I know some other creators are not going to be able to make the first day. So we're going to do a community panel to introduce you to it. It's completely free, 2 to 4. So I hope to see you there on those 4 tour dates.
All right. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with tie up some loose ends if we haven't tied them up already, and get ready for 5 minutes of heat. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. That was not a smooth transition, but hey, it is what it is. What we wanted to do right now is, how can you support CSRN? If you like what we do, where is it at? Tech team. All right, if you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and whenever Jody decides to start tweeting on X, formerly known as Twitter, don't say I'll never do it. Okay, he'll never do it. Okay, all right. I'm glad they didn't see that. Or if you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App. That's the cash tag CSRN 419, or PayPal CSRN 419. We still have some Black Lives Matter yard signs left in our studio right now. We have a few that we use for props, and if you ever wanted to come down to the Mott Branch Library and get a yard sign that we've used on set, so you can get it autographed and put in your yard so that someone can come and take it, hey, come on out. They're $15 each, $20 for everybody that knows Jody. Also, if you want to pick up some of the defund, the Toledo Police Department defund 12.org/Toledo, get all the facts associated with CSRN and why we do what we do. And our YouTube channel, we're looking to get at least 100,000 subscribers. That way we get that silver plaque from YouTube, and that'll let us know that we have arrived, or we could just make one of our own and put it up. All right. Either way, we want you to get a bit more engaged in what we do. We appreciate everybody that views our podcast. We appreciate everybody that supported us through the years of just loading up cell phone video and reporting out when we met at the Padua Center. And we support everybody that's either came out to a protest, that's come out to a political forum, a Black Lives Matter Awards, in everything that we do. Thank you for your support for the organizations that we support, like CRAVE, ACLU, NAACP, all those organizations that somehow, one way or another, put in to help us get where we needed to go. Family, one of the things that we do to wrap up and close out is something that's called 5 minutes of heat. Normally, we don't close our meetings out with a gavel or any of the Robert's rules type things. We have some flavor and soul. And one of the things that we do is use creative expression. Jody has been consistent regarding spoken word, being an author, and so many things that add to the protest culture and activist community. So when we talk about 5 minutes of heat and what you're going to present for us today, what do you have?
All righty. Again, since next week I will be out of the state, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. Maybe I'll just bring one of my books with me, stuff. But so I'll leave you with this piece. It's called Human Condition. Also, shout out to Arnie's and Sunkissed Ra or Respect Your Crown for hosting the open mic every Monday there. Yesterday was awesome. I think poetry and stuff should be highlighted just as much as mainstream media garbage and stuff like that. So I love to always have a place, even if it's monthly or stuff like that, but having it weekly gives you an opportunity to practice, to meet people, to come out of your shell. I get paid to travel and do shows now, but I always love my intimate settings, the open mics, where I don't have to be the best entertainer you've ever seen before and stuff like that and take my money. I could just be, I have to restart that piece I haven't done in a while, but that's what I love about open mics and going. So Arnie's every Monday, 5 to 9. Show starts around 6. We are rotating hosts now. So if you don't see Sunkissed there will be, it's not actually, but you'll see her. She's in my photos, all the stuff. I can't think of how to pronounce the name at the moment, but this is called The Human Condition. In lieu of 50 days to election and all the stuff going on in the world, I hope it makes you think. It's my satire or narrator voice. If you heard that guy from Galaxy, what is it? Galaxy, Guide to the Galaxy. Cannot think of it.
We'll come back to that one.
Yes,
right
we
there.
will come back to that. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So if you know anything about that series or idiocracy or satire just on the human race, that's what this piece is about. Let's begin peace. The human condition. Humans, the most technologically backward advanced species on the round ball that's more like an oval, spinning through space or whatever it is we're floating in at all different densities. Part 4. So who was it that decided that we're the most intelligent species on the planet? Because I'm rather confused of how everything else can even somewhat grunt at itself and understand what it means. Yet we, the bipedal, semi-hairless beings, are so technologically advanced. But all that advancement does is slow the purging we do to the planet as we exterminate every other life form we don't understand. I mean, it's really rather astounding, and probably everything else on the planet is just staring at us. Yes, staring at us in amazement of why we can't get it before we try and bash in their heads and either eat them, sleep with them, or domesticate them or wear them. I have to give it to us some credit because we created our own religion, spiritual beliefs, and ideologies to make us feel superior to everything else on the planet, who seemingly understands the entire world from the moment they are born, capable of circumventing the globe without any technology or assistance, and survive through the mass slaughter that we have implemented upon the rest of the planet. Somehow, managing to survive through the droughts, the floods, the forest fires, deforestation, urban, suburban, metro complex city building that leads to nothing but wasteland and more war. Speaking of which, we create the most deadly viruses, weapons, and destructive tools that we barely understand ourselves and leave them set upon the rest of the world, many of which are just leaching into the soil and groundwater that is slowly killing off everything else we can't see. I always find myself baffled because even when I feel smart, I look at nature and just feel so dumb. Like it took us this many generations to create something synthetic that already exists in nature, but we didn't make it. So now we're mad and we have to destroy it to make our own. I know there has to be some redeemable factors in the human race, but every time I do find something that remotely looks good, I am reminded that we are conserving or rebuilding something that we already destroyed. And it's only a matter of time until we run out of space and we say, we need that too. In peace.
As always, we snap our fingers. Want to thank you, Jody, for that. Yes.
Pause on that cat moment. Sorry. Going back to my poems is kind of funny with all the stuff in Springfield right now. I was like, oh, that's where that moment came from in my writing.
Yeah, and if you saw that movie, Idiocracy, you need to see that because that's exactly where we are. All right. We're right in the middle of it. In the middle of it.
Hopefully not the opening credits, but it's looking worse every day.
All right. And as always, all lives can't matter until
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else.
Yeah.
Peace.